2 years ago, we purchased ourselves an awful narrowboat. It was never meant to be an awful narrowboat, but it turned out, from day one, to be an absolutely terrible narrowboat. But the complete refit is nearly finished, and she's gonna look splendid. We spent quite a few days away last week to try and work out exactly the most important bits to tackle on the boat next. We concluded that this was gonna be the boiler system. Or was it? Yeah, we haven't had hot running water for 2 years. It's mad, isn't it? Not every narrowboat is like ours, and not every narrowboater's journey is like ours, but this is our journey, so come and join us. We are the Nomadic Crobot. Welcome back to the nightmare. But the nightmare is coming close to an end. Please pray for us. It's got to be coming to an end. Let's get the kettle on and then we'll tell you exactly what stage we're up to. By the way, this is exactly how an English narrowboater makes his cups of tea. Fact.
If you haven't already figured out by now, Crobot often are full of
broken promises.
To start today's episode off, we'll really demonstrate that, because we left off by telling you that we're going to crack on with the boiler because that's the only thing we can do at this point.
The only thing that we can do. 2 years in on this blimmin' narrowboat and we still haven't got hot running water. You'd think that would take priority.
We've contacted a load of different marine heating engineers, so we're sort of waiting to hear back from people and stuff. So what are we actually going to do on the boat whilst we're waiting to get this sort of information? I said to Chris, why don't we start on the bilges in the lounge? Like, we're going to have to do it a slightly different way because we can't clear out the room completely. But I figure if we take up a few of the floorboards at a time, we can scrape away all the nasty flaky stuff that doesn't need to be there, pop some aqua steel on. Happy days.
So this is the last room in question, the lounge. Yeah, we haven't got under the floorboards in this room yet. We're going to try and get under here and get to the rust and get that treated. If you remember, in the back room, 2 days after we purchased the boat, we discovered this humongous leak. The plan was to go continuous cruising for pretty much ever and to vlog it all for you guys, but it just turned into this stupid restoration project, and I'm pretty crap at DIY, so it's just taken forever. Luckily, my partner in crime, Becca, doesn't mind getting her hands dirty. We did actually do this together. I didn't just let Becca do it all. So we gutted the rust in the bilges on 80% of the narrowboat, and we treated it with a rust repellent called Aquasteel. On top of that, we added something called Jotun, which is a 2-pack epoxy just to keep it doubly sealed. We were just trying to be extra protective, but I think we went a bit overboard because you only really need either or. It turns out that the bottom of our narrowboat, the 8mm base plate, has actually also had a brand spanking new 12.5mm base plate added to it more recently to cancel out ballast. I know, weird, you don't really hear that one come up too often, do you guys? She's a heavy little bugger. So the area that we've been treating here on the inside is just the old 8mm base plate. I mean, we probably didn't even really need to do it. So this time we're probably just going to use the Aquasteel, the rust repellent. Okay, so let's start moving everything in the living room to one side. We're going to do it in 2 halves. We know that the boards end here, that's the halfway point. So if we move all this quadrant of materials over this way, and then we can get under the floorboards in that bit first. Then we'll replicate the same thing again on the left side. So let's move all this junk into the other room so that we can operate. Humphrey, move him to his new nest. Are we opening up a whole new tin of worms here? the one room on the boat which is just about habitable, and we're about to tear right into it. What do you reckon, Bex?
If it goes the way I've got it planned in my head, it should be fine.
Well, if we can get it done in the next couple of days. Or will it be a couple of years? Yeah, the biggest fear would be that this would just lead to another bigger job, which would end up taking sort of a few more months to sort out. Glove up, as always. Bex doesn't really like wearing them, actually. Crowbars at the ready. Drills and drillettes. Well, they're in the way now, aren't they? Right, should we get on with it normally?
Too hot.
Yeah. It's never too hot for hand protection, but today it is. Tear away at it, go. Should we open the little hatch from the ceiling? She's back at the old carpet with the scissors. Is that nice and gentle for you?
Look at you. You come to help.
Shall we see like what she does to this?
Oh no, she didn't like that.
Scared.
I don't know if she can have that.
You're scared of it. See what, he can't drive boats. He makes a mean carpet man. Carpet fitting man. Let's throw it out here. Right, now the carpet's up, let's get under these floorboards and see what's lurking under there. We have actually been under these two boards once before just to check for pipe work, but we haven't carried out any anti-rust procedure. And today we are on a quest for anti-rust proceduring. So we'll start with these maybe. You sure you want to go here?
Yeah.
Time to smurf up then. Get the costume on. Ever wanted to know how to transform yourself into a smurf in the space of 10 seconds? Papa Smurf is back in town. Papa Smurf and Smurfette. Look at that. But Smurfette is having a toilet problem. Back into the bilges. And we have actually taken it upon ourselves to say that we're not going to wire brush it, we're just going to get the flaky stuff off, because what the Aquasteel, the rust repellent, does, it turns the top layer of rust into a sort of hardener, so it actually needs rust for it to carry out the proper process. Back to stage one, innit?
Well, good when that happens.
Oh, you got a big boy. And also armed with the knowledge that this is the old 8mm base plate, you know, underneath it's another 12.5, so I don't think we've got to go too mad, do we? Now to somehow get rid of all the rust dust down there, because the dustpan and brush only brings up a little bit.
I know who we can call. Begins with T, ends in Iton.
To all our new subscribers, meet the Titan, my vacuum.
Titan!
We could split Titan duty, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Catch. Oi! You want to go?
Yes, please.
So we'll let the Titan hoover up all those horrible little rusty dusty particles, and then we'll get on with our rust repellent, the Aquasteel. See, it's not only mine. Becca's grown quite attached to the Titan. I don't get any attention anymore, the Titan does. The Titan provides a better service than I do, obviously. And here she is, your new best friend, Aquasteel. Give it a good shake. That should do it, and then start our mighty Aquasteel procedure. Okay, so we've got the first half completed, and then start moving all the cupboards here over to that side, then we get the last little bit of the boat finished, and then that's it. The whole boat has been scraped and aquastilled. Apart from the bow froster area, actually. That's been scraped, but it hasn't been aquastilled. And this will all turn black, this will. It turns the rust into a sort of really hard, solid state. So it actually uses the rust in its favour to turn it into a sort of really strong substance that stops the rust from continuing further. So it's really good, this aquasteel stuff, guys. I'd highly recommend it. But yeah, do your research online. It's water-based too, which is always a pro as well, because it's better for the environment, isn't it? And I think you can sort of breathe it in without worrying too much. I think, again, do your research and read the bottle, because I'm not 100% sure. So we've left it for about 2 hours now, and this is the outcome. Looks absolutely awesome and lovely and new, don't it? So we'll get the floorboards back down, and then we'll start preparing things to do the second half of the room tomorrow. Beautiful. I just wanted to bring the old carpet in and lay it down. Bex wanted me to give the thing a shake.
It's the carpet monster.
Is that the sort of thing you were after?
Yeah.
Lovely. Happy?
Yeah.
The carpenter's back. I always wanted to become a carpenter.
I think the first port of call is to find out what a carpenter is, because that isn't what that is.
What? Of course it is. Okay, so that's all moved over onto the bit that's done. This is the new area that we're going to tackle tomorrow, and we have never looked under here, ever. But I'm guessing it's going to be a little bit rusty. So the first time we've seen these little fluffy swan babies. Does anyone know the name of swan babies? Bex probably knows. I don't have a clue. I think they look a little bit like fluffy versions of Sopranella. They are well cute. So a new day and back to it. Let's get checking underneath these horrible little floorboards. Morning. It shouldn't be too a hard job doing this bit. You always run into a problem on narrowboats. You always think you're going to have it done in a few hours, and it's always a little hurdle comes up.
Don't curse it.
No, I know. We didn't have it yesterday. It just went so smoothly. But then we thought it was going to take longer, didn't we? Now today we're coming into this thinking, oh, this will take no time at all. And then, I don't know, there'll be some big creepy crawly under here or something. I'm sure. I mean, we'll have to evacuate the premises until the creature has left.
Maybe I should evacuate the premises now, because there's a pretty gnarly creature in front of me.
Oh. Me? Told you, I should have been a carpenter. I can see it in the comments now. So professional. So, you ready to see what's lurking under here?
It doesn't look too bad, does it? Like, there's loads of belly buttons.
Is there? These are the belly buttons. Welding plug. Corrected by one of our subs. I like belly button, don't you? So I believe the idea of the belly buttons, or the plug welds, is to attach the new 12.5mm base plate onto the existing 8mm base plate, and it also stops it from sagging in the middle. There's one, can you see it? Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. And this top side is not bad at all, but when you come round to the right, you get the nice, juicy, crispy bits. It's so much fun, isn't it, Bex?
It is. It's very satisfying. It's like picking a sport. It's the motherlode of rusty pieces.
Becca don't like wearing goggles for it. I keep telling to Bex, wear goggles, health and safety. You don't want to get that rust in your eyeball. But she says she's too precise. There's no way it will get in there.
That's not what I said at all. I find the goggles really difficult. You can't see.
There we go, nice and quick for you guys, we don't want to bore you. Next up, our lovely little aqua still.
So we just wanted to take a minute to say a massive thank you to Vic, who has donated so generously towards our battery replacement fund. It's really appreciated.
Yeah, we've popped that into a little piggy bank for in the future when we finally come to do the batteries, and it's not going to be long, is it now? I think a couple of weeks,
crossed.
couple of months. It's gonna be soon. But thanks very much.
Thanks, Vic.
I mean, we do have the greatest audience and subscribers. They really are the best. We really couldn't do it without you guys. Okay, so we're all aqua stilled up. And then again, we'll let this dry for a couple of hours and turn to this. Get the old floorboards back down. I mean, we've done pretty well on this one. This has gone really, really quickly and smoothly. Yeah, Crobot is proper adult now. Show your carpenter skills. I mean, has that joke gone on for too long now? I know carpenters don't really just do carpets. I'm just sort of insulting every carpenter or carpet fitter in the whole world right now, unintentionally. So there we go, all back down. Both sides of the boat in the living room, there underneath where Becca's standing too, is completed. And saying that, the whole rust extraction from the bilges is now completed on the entire boat. So quite the achievement, actually. So in the next episode, we are finally going to start the process of bringing in warm water on the narrowboat. Thanks so much, guys. See you in the next one.